Hello everyone, it's Gerudo, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It always strikes me funny just how much shorter Link is compared to the other Gerudos. But anyway, in today's video we'll be taking care of a couple shrine quests across the Wasteland region that aren't necessarily involving Gerudo Town. Kind of. There's one exception, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The first thing we'll be taking care of is going to involve the Sand Seals, so fast forward slightly so we can get over there, because I don't feel like commentating over the entire time, walking over there or anything like that. Hooray for editing magic. I probably could have put on the Sheikah armor, so we could have walked over there a lot faster, but that requires effort, and effort is gross. The first order of business is we'll be going over this way, because this may have caught your eye when we were looking for Richu earlier when we were getting ready to go into the Divine Beast of Ouroboros. And, fun fact, this right here, in Gerudo language, this literally just says start. So yay, Gerudo language is interesting. I believe around here, some Gerudo wording also says pedestal at some point around this area as well. But there's some people over there, and they look like they're having a fun time, so while they're not looking, let's steal the shiny thingy. Hey! That Sand Seal race trophy is obviously only for those who've proven themselves worthy. Cool it with the grabby. Fine then. I guess I'll have to get it the normal way. Aw, they never let me steal things in this game. What do you want? The great Tali doesn't have time to chat with just anyone. You see, now that the Divine Beast is gone, we can finally use the race course. Tali is busy focusing her energy for the Sand Seal race. Actually. Do you want to try and beat Tali's record? I'll warn you, they don't call her Dame of the Dunes for nothing. You never heard of Hyrule's pastime? The world-famous Sand Seals racing? I thought everyone knew about it. Isn't that shocking, Tali? ... You serve with the Sand Seal and race to the finish line while also going through the arches. That's Sand Seal racing. And if you get off your shield or leave the course bounds, you're disqualified. Tali's record is 1 minute and 30 seconds. If you can beat that record, the trophy is yours. This is the grand trophy that's been passed down by 10,000 years of Sand Seal racing champions. We've never cleaned it once. Tali here is the current champion. Will you try challenging her record? Of course. I forgot to mention, since you're racing against the champ's record, it'll be 50 rupees per race. Alright, payday. Enough talk, let's begin. A challenger has appeared to take on the Gerudo Sand Seal race, apparently one who does not mind risking life and limb. Both our current record fall, the one set by our undefeated champion. Link stretching. The incomparable beast of the desert, the Sand Seal, is ready to ride. Can our new contestant reach the goal in less than 1 minute and 3 seconds while still passing every arch? The suspense is killing me. I'm going to start the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Unfortunately, this isn't like Mario Kart where you can do that trick where you can boost at the starting line. So anyway, this right here, this is honestly my favorite minigame in the entire game. The race is tied with one other one that we haven't seen yet. But, because we haven't seen that one, I'm going to say this is my favorite one. So, I forgot to turn that off. Let's turn off that thing so the beeping thing doesn't get too annoying. We'll be going over why I had that set a little bit later in the episode. But anyway, this is the Sand Seal racing. Basically, what you want to do is you want to follow across this area and try to get underneath all the arches and things like that. Basically, think of that one beaver racing from the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, except more fun because it's Sand Seal racing and you don't have to do any stupid swimming controls or anything like that. They were good in the Nintendo 64 version, but then they changed them in the 3DS remake and made it many times worse for no good reason. But anyway, enough about all that negative stuff. We go over this way, and I gotta say, I just love this area. And this is honestly very brilliant level design because outside of the racing, this area just feels so natural. But then when you're actually in the racing itself, the path through the arches just feels so natural to go through. And it's honestly really impressive just how fluid everything blends in together. It honestly really impresses me. And what's also very impressive is the fact that we did a first try. Easy. Too easy. Huh? A minute 18 seconds? It's a new record! Perfect. I believe this belongs to you. This trophy is something special, you know. Our champions have passed down a legend about it for 10,000 years. The legend goes, when the holy jewel is offered onto the pedestal, the chosen one will be granted a new power. But that power has never been granted to anyone, not even to me, obviously. And yet, I sense a power emanating from you, the likes of which I've never felt in anyone else. You should give it a shot. And so, a new champion is born. The undefeated champ complete. So as we go across this area, I just want to say, I want to talk about Tali for a moment because she has one of my favorite character designs of any of the Gerudo in the game. She has a traditional Gerudo outfit, which is always pretty cool, but she also has a champion belt from the Sandseal racing. She has those goggles on for the actual racing itself, because racing around sand like that is bound to not be good for her eyes and things like that. Radiant Shield, and the inventory is full. Yeah, this one's almost broken. Whee! Come on, break. Yay! Now we can get him our sweet, sweet reward. You have done well to arrive at the shrine. A hero rises to right their wrongs of skip. May the goddess smile upon skip. Hey! Don't give me that look like nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Is that a shrine? I didn't think it actually happened, but... well, if it takes someone like you, destined for greatness, to beat me, then it really is a kind of an honor. Hang on now, Tali. Don't act like this isn't a big deal. Just watching knocked the breath right out of me. I'm sorry I lost 3 years off my life from the stress, too. Just 3 years? Huh? What are you trying to say? Well, that may have taken 3 years off my life, but now I've got a new goal. Training Tali to beat the new champ. I won't rest until Tali has pulled off her big comeback and reclaimed the title of racing champ. Now then, enough chit-chat. You want to ride, you have to pay 100 rubies. No discounts, even for a champ. I'm going to play through this one more time because I want to see if this is a worthy investment to go through. I don't remember off the top of my head if there's any differences with this race. Because I don't think there's any Sandseal racing where you actually compete against Tali herself. But I'm going to go through this one more time to see if it's worth spending 100 rubies. Because in my notes it says... that this is one of the best minigames to grind up rubies on, because it's a very quick minigame, but I also didn't remember it costing 100 rubies to actually do this, so I might be mistaken on that part. Never thought I'd seen that record broken in my lifetime. Whoa, that's actually a really good investment. Got so excited seeing her run that good, it probably shaved 3 years off my life. Just 3 years? I need to sit down for a moment. come show us your funky seal technique again sometime. And post-commentary time. So, I'm going to take this time to explain how the actual awards for this minigame will work, because I didn't really go into too much detail during the actual video itself, and I'd like to also take this time to explain some strategies with this minigame too. So, you only actually get the Golden Ruby if you beat your record. If you finish the minigame but you don't beat your record, then most of the time you will get your rubies back. But if you beat your record, then you will get 300 rubies, so it is still a pretty good investment to go through this minigame. But a good strategy that I can recommend if you want to get the most out of this is, when you're opening up the shrine, barely beat the record of 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then continuously play through the minigame again, just barely beating the record, so you'll continuously get 300 rubies every single time that you win this minigame. With that said, there is another minigame in Breath of the Wild that's kind of similar to this one, that's a bit better for ruby grinding, but this is also still a pretty good place to get a lot of rubies if you're pretty good at this minigame. As for actual strategies itself, I don't really go into too much detail about that, but the best thing to remember is that when you're going through this minigame, you're controlling the sand seal, you're not controlling Link. So try not to turn too much so that Link doesn't sway too far, and dash whenever you can, and obviously you try to avoid rocks and the hazards across the area as well. But anyway, back to live commentary. The next thing we'll be taking care of is going to be located somewhere around here. So, right here near the East Barrens is going to be our next destination. So without further ado, let's go onwards. So as we go across this area, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the actual desert itself in this game, because right now I gotta say, this is gotta be one of the most immersive recording sessions I've ever done in a long time, because we're in the middle of a desert in the game, and Mifa's Grace is ready. We're in the middle of a desert in this game, and it is really freaking hot outside when I'm recording this video. I usually turn the fan off when I'm recording so it doesn't pick up in the background, things like that. And it's not that pleasant of an experience right now, but yeah, hooray for unnecessary immersion. Although my family did learn a really cool trick recently where if you put a water bottle, like a frozen one, next to a fan and have that blow into the room, it can help it cool off a lot easier and things like that, so that's pretty cool. I also just like to say, I really love how the desert just looks in general in this game. It's so beautiful. One thing I don't really like about deserts in video games is that, one, they look very bland and boring to look at in games because it just all looks the same after a while. And I also don't like that there's not really a whole lot to do in them. Like, if you want a big example, I think Twilight Princess has like my least favorite desert in any Zelda game ever, because there's really nothing for you to do there. It's just like a giant plane that's meant to separate you from like being able to go from the beginning of that area to the dungeon in that place. And there is that one mini dungeon, but we won't be going over that in today's Let's Play or anything like that. But we'll talk about that just a little bit more later. But as for right now, there's a dead lady right here. I just found the shrine too. My throat, it's so dry, I can't move a muscle. If this really is the end, I wish I could have one last taste, one sip. One sip of an ice cold noble pursuit. Alright, so we need to find the perfect drink. And this lady is crazy because she did not ask for eggnog. I mean, it's eggnog. It's perfect. It'll cure anything, or whatever. But in all seriousness, we need to save her and things like that. This probably would have been a lot better of a route to go up there rather than climbing on the rock or anything like that. So we need to go back over this way. That she mentioned a noble pursuit, and if I remember correctly, there is a place in Gerudo Town which we can check out. And we're going to be fast forwarding over there because I don't feel like walking all the way over there. But as we go over there, that was a very redundant string of sentences. The desert itself in this game, I gotta say, this fixes a lot of the problems I have with most deserts in video games, because the desert is absolutely gorgeous in this game, and there's so much for you to do. There's the 2 towns, there's the amazing story arc getting to the divine base Vanoboris. There's a lot of shrines in this area, and it's just all around just really fun to ride the sand seal across the desert. It's just a lot of fun. I really like this place. So let's head back over this way and go check out that one restaurant that we saw not too long ago, because I'm 99.8% sure that they may have the thing that we need. We go over there, we can see that the vegetable garden thingy over there is still growing, which is pretty cool. I have no idea how I missed that after all this time. Let's talk to you. Vasak, a Hylian Vey, huh? I can't tell how old you are, but this place is definitely not for young Vey. Because the drinks we make here are different from regular drinks. For one, they have a rare treat in them. Ice. Noble Pursuit? Want to try our signature drink, Noble Pursuit? Unfortunately, I need a huge amount of ice to make that drink, and I'm fresh out right now. Besides, it's a really strong drink. Even if I could make it, I won't sell it to a little Vey like you. Actually, ... What'd you say? Poki's collapsed? I want to help her out, but I can't make a you-know-what without ice. There's ice at the ice house, but my legs aren't in the best shape for hauling ice. Should I get it for you? Are you serious? You'll get it? That'd be a huge help. Poki is the best customer after all. I wish I could get the ice myself. Anyway, the ice house is north of town. Anki, whatever, manages it, but I think if you explain the situation, she'll let you have some ice. You should know that she heads to bed quite early. If you plan to go, you'll need to get there while it's bright out. Oh, young lady. Carrying ice all the way through the desert and then all the way to town, I can't let that stand. If you bring that ice to the entrance to the ruins between the town and the ice house, I could take it from there. Alright. So that's the information for the perfect drink. If you want to read that, you can pause the video in your own time to check that if you want. Now, the ice house that she's mentioning, first of all, we can get rid of this pen. The ice house that she's mentioning is on the other side of these ruins over here. So, let's head off over this trail. Ah, there's a cute little lizard on the wall. That makes you distracted. Let's go over here and talk to you. And actually, this is a great opportunity to bring up something that I've been wanting to talk about with the Gerudo in this game, particularly for a while. So, I think I mentioned before that this game in particular has my favorite version of the Gerudo in any Zelda game ever. We've already seen plenty of examples why. Riju is definitely one of my favorite Zelda characters of all time, and the story arc in this game is just all around awesome. But something that I really, really like about the Gerudo in this game specifically is I really like that how much variety they have with their different body structures and things like that. Because one thing that kind of bothers me about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask... Don't you dare disappear. Fine, I see how it is. These are the ruins that we need to go through, and we gotta be careful across this area. Now might be a good time to actually deal with these bad guys, but I don't feel like it. But what I do feel like is putting on the sand boots, because then we can walk around faster. So, what I really like about the Gerudo in this game is, and actually, before we get into that, what bothers me about Gerudo and the other Zelda games is they're all mostly, they're all more or less the same character model, just repeated with slightly different things here and there. Like, if you want an example, in Majora's Mask, most of the Gerudo look the same, but then you have, like, 2 unique models for the ones that actually have story significance, and then that's it. I'm not really that big of a fan of that, but and it's not like it was hardware limitations that kept them from having different body structures, because there are a lot of variety in that. There is a lot of variety in that in Ocarina of Time with the Hylians and things like that. So that's one thing that I really do appreciate with this game, because it's just very nice to see that not everybody has the same body structure and things like that. It's nice to have variety with the character designs. This is a nice house used for storing the ice brought down from the mountains. Seeing as we live in a desert, it's pretty important stuff for us Gerudo, so I guard the ice house 24 hours a day. Actually... I see. Well, if Arusa wants ice, then you should bring her some. You're permitted to take some ice. You've taken the heat into account, right? If you move too slowly, the ice will surely melt. Furiosa has no use for water. Let's talk to you. Do you see anything else? You walk through the desert, you know how hot it can be. Don't take your time or the ice will melt. Off I go. Be careful. Okay. So, we have to carry a block of ice all the way over to Gerudo Town. And we gotta be careful about this because ice in the desert doesn't exactly mix that well. Because it's going to melt and it's not going to be that pleasant. And skipping ahead to nighttime will not work that well either because the ice will disappear by then, so don't think about setting up a campfire right next to it. Now, what I personally like to do is I like to wait until I get the sand boots before I try this, because that'll make it so that if you have to walk through the sand, you can go through it just a little bit quicker. All that matters is that you get there within the amount of time so that the ice doesn't completely melt. Going on a straight path, that's probably going to be good enough, but you want to be careful with these jerks because a lot of these Alphos enemies, they're going to be of the fire variety, which means that the ice is going to be melting faster. Get away from me! No! Please tell me she's still going to be awake by the time we get there. Dang it, 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 dang it. Profanities, words I can't say on the internet. Dang it, dang it, dang it. So, yeah, she's falling asleep now, so we have to wait until tomorrow to do this. You've got to be kidding me. I figured as much. Even the Gerudo make mistakes transporting ice sometimes. Just grab another block and try again. Take two. Same rules apply as before. Get through there as quickly as possible. Having the sand boots is going to be your best friend forever, because it'll help you go through the sand. And trying to be on the outside may also help just a little bit, but don't wander off too far so that it doesn't take too long for you to get there in the first place. And taking care of the fireless Alphos may be a good idea before you actually start this. I don't know if they respawn after you pick up the ice block. I don't think they will unless a blood moon happens. But, yeah. You definitely want to be careful with this. This isn't a difficult quest or anything like that, it's just that it's kind of repetitive, more so than anything, because you probably will fail this from time to time, especially if you keep running into fireless Alphos and things like that, and you are more likely than not going to bump into some enemies as you go across this area, but as long as you get over there, and you are safe and things like that, and you have the ice block, you should be okay. I don't actually know if being in the shade or anything like that, if that helps prolong the melting. I imagine that it probably would, but I don't know if that's actually the case. So, we're getting fairly decently close. We're getting there. It's going to be cool and awesome. How difficult would it be to actually make a perfect square of ice like this? Because I imagine that would be difficult because ice can be pretty hard to break unless you have like the right tools and things like that. So you definitely want to be careful as it goes there. Hey, over here, this way, bring the ice over here. Yes, 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 yes. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do it. 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 Come on, come on. We can do it. 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 No doubt about it. That's definitely ice from the ice house. I'll be able to make a noble pursuit with this. It may be the best I've ever made. I got one more favor to ask. Could you go and let Poke know? Just let her know the best drink ever is waiting for her. What? No, of course this will work. Knowing her, if she hears that delicious drink is waiting, she'll come running. Alright, so that wasn't nearly as bad as I remember it being. Like I said before, it's not really that difficult of a side quest or anything like that. It's just that when you do fail it, it's a little bit repetitious to get back over towards the ice house so you can get another block of ice and things like that. And, you know, something that I'm noticing is that I said earlier in the Let's Play that the purple Gerudo outfit, one of my original ideas for the Let's Play was to wear that during side quest episodes and to wear the regular one during story progress. And I said that I abandoned that idea when I was planning out the Let's Play. That shadow disappeared really quickly. So, I'm just noticing that we ended up going that way anyway, and now we're using the purple outfit during side quest videos and things like that. but I'm going to be back over towards where Bulky is. So let's go use the super amazing powers of editing transitions. Yay! Whoosh! Editing transitions. Woo! Man, that editing transition was such high quality. Like, that was just the highest quality that I'll ever be able to do. I might as well give up making videos now because I'll never be able to top that. So anyway, we go over this way. And oh, the cute little saints here are so cute! I really want a plushie of those things, they're so cute. So we go over this way, we can go over here and save this lady. Can't take it anymore. I'm going to rot here. Actually, ... Did you say past noble pursuit ever? I am gone! That is literally me whenever eggnog is involved. To you, Setsubo the Shrine, I am Misae Suma. By entering this place, you've already proven your worth. Misae Suma's blessing. I cannot tell you how many times when planning out this Let's Play, I misspelled this shrine name as Misae. Because I watch so much Misae Nella, she's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, I frequently misspelled the shrine's name as Misae Suma. And a fun story, when I was preparing for this Let's Play, and I typed in this shrine's name, looking through my notes and things like that, and when I was trying to find information on my notes, I couldn't find anything, because I found that on my notes, I still ended up misspelling it. Heading back over here, we can see the Poké has returned. I ask you, Furusa, is there anything better than the taste of a noble pursuit? You were at death's door and you ran all the way here for that? Good grief, you're in incredible shape. Does that mean you don't plan to investigate that shrine anymore? Definitely, I never dreamed that kind of work would be so dull. I'm not surprised you found it dull. That sort of thing isn't really you. You know what really is me? Drinking. Alright. So that's interesting. I gotta be honest, I don't like drinking, like, at all. Like, I'm 24 at the time that I'm recording this video, and did that lizard run down the wall again? I think the second time that's happened this video. I'm 24 now, so I've been, like, legally allowed to drink for a couple years now, and within that time, I can seriously count the amount of drinks that I've had on, like, one hand. I don't drink that often, and I don't really particularly care that much too. But eggnog is yummy. I love eggnog. And the final thing we'll be taking care of in today's video is going to be located over this way. Now, that right there, that's going to be an enemy camp filled with enemies, so you deal with that if you want. I think we came across that in the previous episode at some point, but I honestly don't remember off the top of my head. Another spot that's worth mentioning is going to be located over here. That over there, I believe that was the pathway to get to the 7 heroines side quest we took care of a couple videos back. That might have been the previous episode. I don't know. I record these out of order, so it's hard to keep track of things sometimes. Let's go over here and save these people, so they can hopefully give us some super amazing rewards. I mean, so that we can help the people and save the day. Trying to use Urbosa's Fury. Actually, no, I'm going to wait to use that until a little bit later. So I believe this is one of our first encounters with the Silver Bokoblin. Silver Bokoblins are a tier higher than the black ones, and they are very dangerous, so we've already wasted all our Duke's protection! No, that hurt my feelings and the rest of my face! Alright, took care of you. The other one is destroyed. Do I want to get rid of the Light Skill Triton? I think we could replace that if we go back to Zora's Domain, but I don't really want to destroy it because it's such a cool weapon and it's a little hard to come by. Let's do that. Haha. And the Guardian Spear broke. How sad. Alright, you punk. You better give me a cool award. Hey, my life. I can't thank you enough. This will have to do. Mighty Seafood Rice Balls! What are you talking about? Those are clearly jelly donuts. Grants a low-level attack boost, stuffed with aromatic seafood. Blah, I cannot read. The flavor can vary by ingredients, but never disappoints. We're headed for Gerudo Town, a shimmering oasis in the desert. Someone told us it's a whole city of foxy ladies. I bet they'll treat us to fine studs like kings. So you're not jealous of our plan, are you? Well, too bad. No copying our idea. We had it first. Besides, what woman would be interested in a skinny twig like you? I literally just saved you! Why are you being so mean to me? I literally just saved you, and you're being super mean to me. Oh, I'm sad now. Maybe you'll say something nicer? Gerudo Town, here we come. We're young, we're single, and we're on our way to burg full of ladies. I bet they'll dig your way with a sword, fella. Too bad about your face. You're rude too! These people are jerks. Like, I literally just saved them, and they were like, oh, we're going to a city full of sexy ladies, and you're not invited. And with that out of the way, now we can go over this way. That right there is actually pretty well worth mentioning, going across this area. There's some sand seals here if you want them, but there's also a cooking pot in that area, which may be useful if you need to go cooking. It's also surrounded by enemies though, so you probably will want to be careful. And I probably want to equip some kind of fire item so that I can, you know, not freeze to death. So going across this area, we're going to be coming across another field monster, and it may or may not be a pleasant experience depending on how smoothly things go. Like, it was not a smooth experience whatsoever last time. So let's be careful with the Moduga this time. And this time I'm actually going to try and do a decent job to explain how to actually fight this thing. So, the Moduga is attracted to sound, so what you want to do is you want to have a bomb on the ground, that'll attract it, and then have your second one set up on the ground near where it's going to land, and then blow it up while it's in the sky. What the heck? I thought it ate it, but it apparently didn't. So that's a little bit awkward. That would have been cool if it actually worked, but then it didn't because I'm bad at video games. But if that doesn't work, bomb arrows should also do the trick. So we have this set up. Let's do something funny. It's something I always love doing whenever I play through this game. I love taking a selfie with this thing. Alright then. So let's take care of that. And I gotta say, the Moduga, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I gotta say, the Moduga is probably my favorite field monster in the game. Because, while they may not be as challenging as a Lionel or have amazing music as a Stone Talus or anything like that, they're genuinely my favorite of the field monsters in the game, because they just have a really fun character design, and they're honestly like some of the most fun ones to fight in the entire game, because you can go like that, and blow them up, and it's awesome, and they just look kind of derpy, admittedly. They're just kind of, they may be intimidating you, but they're kind of cute. And one of my favorite details, I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but one of my favorite details is whenever it goes into the water, that's not water, that's sand, that's kind of a completely different thing. Whenever it goes through the sand, I'm really hoping it shows up. Basically, there's this animation that can trigger where it barely peeks its head out of the ground, and whenever that happens, it looks like a train, and anything that reminds me of a train is automatically a good thing because I like trains. Alright, take care of you. Isn't that just like unnecessary epic, seeing it flying in the sky and then blowing up like that? It's just so epic and awesome, and I really like how tiny its legs are. It's like a giant monster, but it moves around with tiny little legs, and it's kind of cute. So with all that fun stuff taken care of, we can open up the treasure chest. And it's a Gerudo shield, and our inventory is always full. Okay, that is one thing that I want to say about this game. I see. all the time. People saying that the weapon durability in this game is terrible, your weapons are always breaking and things like that. And while I can understand that to a degree, I gotta say, I honestly think it's the reverse problem. I don't think weapons break enough in this game. Because whenever you're playing through this game, you're always going to have full inventory, no matter what. You're always going to come across a full inventory, and you're always going to come across treasure chests like that you just can't keep the treasure because your inventory is always full. Even if you go to Hestu and get more weapon slots and things like that, it's always going to be full. So I really wish that in the Breath of the Wild sequel, they make weapon durability more of a thing, that weapons break faster. And I know that a lot of people are not going to agree with me on that one, but it's honestly something that I really wish that they would do. I hope weapons break faster in the next game. Either that, or I also hope that there's like some kind of blacksmith system where you could take your weapon into a shop and they can like reforge your weapon to make it stronger. Because there is a system like that already in place in the Zelda series. They had that in Skyward Sword, but I don't know why they didn't have that in this game. Speaking of Skyward Sword, I'm really looking forward to the Switch port because like I've been wanting Skyward Sword HD to be a thing for a while, and it's finally happening. It's gonna be awesome! To use as foot in the shrine, I am Kayu. By entering this place, you've already proven your worth. Though Kayu's blessing, though Kayu's shrine. This is a problem that I have to say about this game. I don't like that a huge chunk of these shrine quests are usually just these blessing shrines. Like, it is kind of cool here and there, and I do understand that it is a puzzle to get into the shrine in the first place, so they probably don't want to overcomplicate things. But at the same time, it kind of feels like it's also a way to just kind of like artificially raise how many shrines are in your game. Because this game has 120 shrines in the base game without DLC or anything like that. But there's also a good chunk of them that are just like purely shrine quests and things like that, which will usually just lead to a blessing shrine like this. I'm not a big fan of that, admittedly. May the goddess smile upon you. Hey, you let me finish my text? That's pretty cool. Oh, wait, no, I'm fading away. Oh well, life is short. Man, these people, all they want is to be able to just finish their dialogue. I'm just being a jerk to them. So now we're taking care of all that, we're in this video off here. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Your options are where to go next. You go on the next video of the playlist where we're taking care of a couple more side quests across the Wasteland region. Hopefully, we'll be able to finish all of them. I don't know yet though, because there's still a lot of them to go through, but I think we can get them all out of the way in one more episode. Your option, however, is to leave the Wasteland region and go off and explore a different region. And you'll know exactly which one when the end screen actually appears, because I haven't decided yet. You can also look for the Korok's across Wasteland region, or ignore everything and go straight for Calamity Ganon. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm going to have Link face more center to the screen, because it's going to bother me if he's looking off to the side. There we go, close enough. Until next time, Lady Gerudo. Oh yeah.